The story kicks off with a dude named Carter, who's been out cold in a hotel room for hours. When he came to, he saw a crazy amount of surgical tools all over the place. Come to find out, some people had surgically put a device in his brain, and that's why he couldn't remember jack about his past. Before he could even figure out what the heck was happening, some guys suddenly busted into his room and started grilling him about Dr. Jang. But, seeing all the blood spilled on the floor, they realized something seriously messed up went down here. When Carter swore he didn't know anything, one of the guys showed Carter a video he'd sent them. In the video, we see that Carter had snatched Dr. Jang, and he's on tape saying if they come to this hotel, he won't off Dr. Jang. Carter was tripping out when he saw this and was like, "Yo, that's me." But then, he couldn't recall anything after that because his memory was totally shot. They found Dr. Jang's passport right there. And right after that, they put a piece on Carter and warned him, "Spill the tea or we're gonna pump you full of lead." Right then, Carter saw a ton of blood on his bed that trailed from the floor and ended up inside a closet. Out of nowhere, he heard a phone ringing from inside. When Carter grabbed the call, a girl on the phone started talking to him. She told him, "Your name's Carter," but before she could finish, she wanted to talk to the chick standing behind her. Carter told her, "She wants to chat with you." But the second the other girl held the phone up to her ear, the bomb packed inside it blew up, which wiped her out. Carter somehow managed to keep his composure, but then he heard a voice coming from inside his head. It was the same girl's voice who had been on the phone. She said, "You've got a device near your ear, so you're the only one who can hear me. A huge explosion is about to happen here in the next 20 seconds. After that, way more people are going to be hunting you down. So, you gotta jump out of that window right now and get over to the next building." Carter did exactly what she said. After that, there was a massive boom that smoked everyone who came to take him out. Now, when Carter came to, he was sitting in a giant bathtub. There was a whole crew of gangsters surrounding him. Carter got directions to haul Bud out of there fast, or those guys were gonna end him. Carter, who didn't even know who he was, asked the voice who she was and why he should take orders from her. But the gangsters thought he was running his mouth at them. They asked, "Who the hell are you, and what are you doing here?" But Carter said something while talking to the voice that made the gangsters think he was the police, and they all cocked their weapons. Just then, a girl who was trashed climbed out of the tub and drew a gun on Carter. But before she could fire, the rest of the gangsters jumped her. This is where we figure out that Carter wasn't some average schmo. Even with zero memory, he was fighting all those gangsters like it was just another day at the office for him. He started shedding blood right then and there. But there were so many goons in that building that the brawl was never ending. Carter had been hit with such a high dose of meds that he couldn't feel any pain and just kept on fighting. He quickly threw on some clothes and started making a break for it out of the building. But on the way down the stairs, a few more gangsters tried to get him. Carter grabbed them all and leaped off the 6th floor. But landing on top of all those bodies saved his life. However, that was only the warm-up, because right away, another car started following him. The voice he heard in his head was guiding his escape. She knew every street and every turn like she was watching the whole thing unfold. While he was running, a guy got a hold of Carter. They went at it, and Carter finished him off. Right then, he saw his own face for the first time. But even looking at himself, nothing clicked. His life was at risk on the street, so he cut through people's houses to keep moving. In one of those homes, he saw a girl who was super ill, and she passed away instantly. Carter got a heads up that someone was nearby, and just like that, a guy came at him. Carter fought the dude and finally smashed his skull in. The voice humming in his head told him a car was coming to pick him up. She told him to jump in that car pronto. But Carter now refused to take her orders. He needed to know who these cats were and why they were after him. But the voice didn't cough up any answers and said he had a bomb planted in his tooth and she had the trigger. If he didn't get in the car right away, she was going to press the button. Carter knew if she did that, his head would explode like a melon. So, he quickly went after a yellow van and hopped in. Inside, he ran into a girl named Yujin, to whom Carter handed a device. He found out that the person he'd been talking to the whole time wasn't even in this country. She was in North Korea and was sending him commands from there. She said, "My name is Han Jung-hee, and our governments are teamworking to find a fix for a dangerous virus. This virus, called DMZ, turns anyone infected into a violent, powerful maniac. They're still human, but they lose all their sense and just start killing people. Some of them even know how to handle weapons, which makes the whole mess even riskier. Yujin informed him that Dr. Zhang's daughter had also caught the virus after getting bit by a rat. But Dr. Zhang had found the cure for the virus to save his own kid. He planned to use her blood to whip up millions of vaccines so they could get treatment to people fast. But a secret CIA operation kidnapped his daughter, Hana, to slow down the vaccine production so the entire world would get slammed by this virus. Now your gig is to spring Hana from them and get her to North Korea safely. Carter was also told that his memories were wiped at his own request. That meant this was all part of Carter's master plan from the jump. And once the job was finished, his memories would pop back. He learned that he used to be a CIA agent in South Korea, but in 2014 he was sent to North Korea to spy. That's where he fell head over heels for a girl. After that, he ditched his country and took their citizenship. He's got a daughter too, but right now, she's got the virus. Yujin handed him a bag loaded with guns and said, "From now on, you only listen to Han Jung-hee's instructions and do whatever she tells you." After this, Carter went to a building where Dr. Zhang's daughter was locked up. Carter asked Han, "How am I supposed to know the girl you're talking about is my daughter? You could be pulling my leg." But Han told him, "Your memory will be back soon, but by then your daughter won't make it. Will you be able to live with that? Most people only last 13 days after they get infected, and today is your daughter's 13th day, so you gotta move it." Carter fought his way through everybody to get to the building and started searching for Hana. He found Hana, but she was terrified. Carter held out the phone to her and said, "Here, talk, sweetie. Don't be scared. I won't come any closer." Hana heard her dad's voice on the phone, who told her that Carter was a nice man and she could go with him. After hearing that, Hana started to trust Carter, after which they both got ready to bounce. However, the CIA had sniffed them out by then. They boxed both of them in. But Carter gassed them all with a poisonous cloud and took everyone out. They kept moving through a dark room, but then Carter saw a bunch of laser sights all over his head. He was in their crosshairs now. One wrong choice and they would have blown his brains out. Agent Smith walked up to him and said, "Trying to track you down is a whole game in itself. You've really been a pain. So tell me, who's signing your paycheck, North Korea or South Korea?" Carter shot back, "What's the big deal? Both countries are trying to find a cure for this virus, but you're the only one stirring up trouble for them." It turned out that Smith didn't want South Korea beating America to the vaccine. He saw this disease as a golden ticket for America to control the world's vaccine supply. Then they'd have all the cash and all the clout. Just then, an officer named Agnes came up to them and said that Carter's movements were 87% the same as one of their old CIA agents. That agent was believed to have been killed on a mission in Syria, but his body was never found. To be sure if he was the one, Smith sent a sample of his hair off for a DNA test and told Carter to come along with him. Han, who was listening in on everything, told Carter, "I'm triggering the bomb in your tooth. They're going to try to remove it, and you need to use that chance to escape." The minute the bomb went live, the CIA started scrambling to get it out, but they had no clue it was a bomb and not a tracker. The bomb's timer was just 10 seconds, and when the time ran out, there was a loud blast that wasted a lot of people. Carter grabbed Hana and got out of the building, but as they were climbing down, a guy got a hold of him. Carter fought him, while Hana was hanging by a thread between life and death. Her hands slipped, but at the very last second, Carter caught her and saved her life. After that, they hopped in a car and took off. Further on, they spotted some people out in the streets protesting in support of Dr. Zhang. Dr. Zhang was like a superstar to the common folk, but the Americans had put out a false story that North Korea was making the virus vaccine to attack South Korea. Just then, an announcement blared out where Dr. Zhang himself told the people that he was perfectly safe. He also said that North Korea and South Korea were working together on the vaccine, so they had nothing to worry about from anyone. He asked people not to buy into any fake stories. Carter was still on his mission when he got a text from Agnes. She said, "You're Michael Bain," and sent a video as proof where you could see the two of them together. Carter was lost on who to believe now. Since he didn't have a bomb in him anymore, he lied to Han and decided to meet Agnes just once. The same yellow van was waiting for him up ahead, but Carter skipped it and got on a bus instead. Han immediately told him to get off that bus, but then Agnes shut off the device for a little while. She was gutted to realize Carter didn't remember their history. She said, "Just stick with me and you'll be fine." But Carter shot back, "Everybody's been telling me that all morning, but everyone's trying to kill me. How can I trust you?" Right then, Agnes figured out that they were going to be ambushed at the next stop. But before she could react, someone shot her. Carter knew it was messed up to leave her like that, but the kid's safety was his #1 priority, so he bolted from there. However, just moments later, a bunch of bikers chased them down and snatched Hana away from him. Carter went after them too, but right away, more people showed up to kill him. Hana somehow managed to get into the van, but those guys killed Eugen and tried to yank her out. During this, Hana's hands slipped, and she was about to slam into the street when Carter shoved her hard back into the van. He barely made it inside himself, but then another biker attacked him. Carter took out every last one of them. Those guys unleashed a storm of bullets on him, but Carter dodged everything and killed every single person who touched Hana. He even scraped one guy's face right on the road, which freaked everyone out. Carter jumped onto a biker and started beating him up while they were still moving. This caused a bus coming up behind to flip over, and a bunch of people died. Hana was still being held hostage by the bikers. Carter kept chasing them and killing them off one by one until he finally reached her. In the end, he took out that guy too and saved Hana's life. After this, they both hit the airport, where we see a private jet and a ton of government officials were waiting for them. There, he met the director of the NIS, Kim Dong-gyu, who was supposed to get them to North Korea safely. Han told Carter, "Hana's in good hands now. Your mission's basically over. We'll handle the rest." Kim said, "Reporters are gonna mob you. They'll ask questions, but don't say squat. Don't even look their way. One tiny slip could put the whole country and Dr. Jang at risk." After this, they all got on the plane, which was about to take off any second. There were doctors inside too, who took care of Carter's wounds. Kim said, "Don't trust anyone here, not even me." The second he said that, the plane suddenly hit some turbulence. When they asked, they found out they had lost the pilot's signal. When Kim went into the cockpit, he saw that the pilot was dead. This happened after he drank the coffee the North Koreans gave him. Seeing the pilot's bloodshot eyes, Kim thought he was infected. Before he could go crazy, Kim wanted to kill him. But the North Koreans stopped him and told him to put the gun down, because they only had one pilot to fly that plane. Meanwhile, Han told Carter that she was picking up heat signatures from the cargo hold. "Go down and see who it is." Carter went down there and saw that someone had tied Hana up. He was trying to free her when a doctor suddenly attacked him. Carter asked him, "Why are you doing all this?" But the doctor said, "Since you don't remember anything, why don't you just die quietly?" He was about to kill him when Kim shot him and saved Carter. He asked, "Who's the main guy behind all this? Who unleashed this virus?" But that doctor was a total lunatic. He attacked Kim and killed him. Meanwhile, Carter also tried to stop him. He locked the cargo compartment from the inside and told Hana to leave. But then the doctor set off a blast in there, which blew a massive hole in the plane, and it started falling out of the sky. Carter was also sucked out of the plane by the explosion. After that, Hana freaked out and went to the others for help. She told everyone that Director Kim got killed by the North Koreans. The minute they heard that, everyone aimed their guns at each other because nobody trusted anyone anymore. The North Koreans claimed, "We don't know nothing," but the South Koreans thought they were in cahoots with the enemy. Just then, the doctor showed up and lied to everyone that Director Kim was working with America and was about to take off with Hana. Now hearing this, the North Koreans didn't keep quiet and started thinking the South Koreans were sellouts. But then a reporter said, "Check out the state of this guy. You can't believe a word he says." She asked Hana, "Did Director Kim really try to take you away?" But Hana said, "No, that dude's a liar." The tension went through the roof among all of them. But then a girl walked out of the cockpit. While everyone else was panicking, she was totally chill. Everyone asked her if she was all right, but she suddenly went berserk and shot everyone. This happened because of the virus, which was spreading like wildfire among them. Meanwhile, that doctor grabbed Hana, sliced her wrist, and wiped her blood all over himself, which made the infected people leave him alone. But the rest of the people weren't so lucky. The infected brutally murdered them. That doctor was about to jump out with Hana, but then he saw Carter, who was still alive. To save Hana, he jumped out without a parachute. He somehow reached the doctor and gripped him tight. After separating Hana from him, Carter tried to snatch the parachute. After a big fight, he killed the doctor, grabbed his parachute, and held Hana tight. The second he pulled the cord, the parachute caught on fire. But somehow, they smashed down onto a moving car. They survived, but the danger wasn't over, because now they were in North Korea. Right away, a few more people started hunting them down, but Carter wiped them all out and saved Hana. Carter asked Han, "Where am I supposed to go now?" Han told him, "There's a car on the other side of the waterfall. Cross the rope bridge and meet us there. We'll be waiting for you. Your mission wraps up once you get there." Carter stopped to take a drink from the waterfall, but then he saw a dead body in the water. Before he could figure out what was up, a mob of hundreds of people suddenly attacked him. All of them were infected with the virus, so they were trying to kill him. Carter somehow got away from them and made it to the bridge and started trying to cross it. He was taking every step with caution, but the infected people tried to climb onto him all at once, which caused the bridge to start breaking up. Hana was just dangling between life and death, holding onto a rope. Meanwhile, Carter saw the infected people coming for him and cut the rope. They made it to the other side, but they were still in danger. However, the North Korean military showed up just in time and rescued both of them. Carter met Han Jung-hee here for the first time, the same girl whose voice had been buzzing in his skull all along. Military General Kim Jong couldn't believe he had pulled it off. He had actually brought the girl here. He said, "I didn't think you had it in you to do all this for your daughter." Carter asked, "Who are you?" But the general just started laughing at him, which Carter totally hated. Han said, "We're bringing your memory back. We need to take that device out of your brain to do it." She first pulled the audio device out of Carter's ear, but the second she started cutting the stitches on the back of his head, the general kicked Carter down. Han said, "What are you doing? You promised we could leave once the mission was done." But it turned out that General Kim was the real big boss behind everything. Since the virus started, he knew he had a tool of power that he could use to build a new world that would only answer to him. Meanwhile, we see Carter. When he woke up, a guard told him, "You know Commander Han Jung-hee is your wife. I was planning to marry her after you left, but you coming back screwed up all the fun." They grabbed Carter and led him toward a deep drop-off, where some guards were dousing the bodies of infected people with gasoline to burn them. They were going to do the same thing to Carter, but the second they lit the fire, the infected people suddenly came back to life and attacked them with their burning bodies. They took out all the guards and also came after Carter, but Carter somehow got out of it. He asked, "Where did they take Hana?" But the second the guard told him she was at the research facility, Carter shot them and took off toward it. He quickly got there and kept an eye on everyone from far away. He saw that General Kim was about to kill Han, but before he could, Carter shot him. After this, Carter got into his car and drove right into the facility, smashing through the toughest wall and turning all the infected people loose. Han found him fast, and they both went to a cell where their infected daughter was kept. Since she was infected, she attacked them, but they ran to Dr. Jang, who immediately gave Han and her daughter the antidote. Kim had been holding Jang and a bunch of other doctors captive there to experiment on the infected and create an even scarier version of the virus. Han was getting ready to bail with a device, but then the infected people smashed out of their cells and attacked them. Meanwhile, a few more soldiers tried to stop them, but Carter smoked everyone and got outside. Han said, "A train left here 7 minutes ago. We gotta get on it. But before that, we need to get your memory back." Dr. Jang plugged the device into the back of Carter's head, which made him slowly start to remember everything. He saw a flashback right in front of him where he was running away from someone just like this. These memories were only 13 days old when General Kim caught him and his family as they were trying to sneak out of North Korea. He said, "This virus is destroying the country. Running away from it doesn't look good on you." Han begged him to let them go. They wouldn't tell anyone anything, but the general didn't see how that would help him, so he thought about killing them. That's when Carter said, "If you want Dr. Jang's daughter, I'll bring her to you, but let my family go." The general said, "How can I trust a guy who spied for 7 years after getting plastic surgery? What's the guarantee you'll come back and won't blab our secret?" On this, Carter himself asked them to wipe his memory and ship him off to South Korea. The general liked that idea, but to ensure he'd return, he infected his daughter too. After that, he already knew what happened. Carter remembered everything now, but the danger wasn't over for them yet. The North Korean army was hot on their heels. Just then, their car got stuck in a hole which forced them to split up. Carter went after the train with Hana, while Han stayed back to face them. Carter hit the gas and took a huge leap, landing right on top of the moving train. Carter somehow climbed inside and saved Hana from falling off. But then he saw that those guys were still chasing them. They started climbing inside one by one, but Carter wasted all of them and tossed them off the train. However, this crap just wouldn't quit. One of them yanked Hana up. They were about to take her away when Carter used his gun to pull their helicopter down with a rope. Meanwhile, we see General Kim, who was still kicking. At his command, a soldier separated the boxcar from the train. After that, Kim fired a missile at it. However, Carter jumped out of the boxcar before the explosion, which saved his life. Carter climbed up using the rope and took control of the helicopter after killing the pilot. Meanwhile, another guy tried to kidnap Hana, but Dr. Jang and Han teamed up and stopped him. Carter's helicopter was trashed badly, which caused it to crash. However, Carter wasn't dead yet. He took a long jump and landed right in front of Kim. They went toe-to-toe, but then Kim said something that shook Carter to his core. He said, "You're so desperate to get your memory back. Did you ever wonder if it even belongs to you?" Before Carter could process that, their helicopter started crashing. Carter stabbed Kim's hand with a knife, left him there to die, and got back on the train. There was a tunnel coming up that Han couldn't get through, so she took a big jump, grabbed Carter's hand, and got into the train. Meanwhile, Kim's helicopter spun out of control and crashed, which killed him too. Dr. Jang, Hana, and Carter's whole family were safe now. Carter was stoked to have his whole family back. But his happiness was short-lived, because as they were crossing a bridge, there was a massive explosion on the railway track, and the whole train plunged thousands of feet into a gorge. And with that, the movie ends right here. Hope you liked this story. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.